Hey, this is Fish on here with Tournament Takeaway, where we take a look at a battle and break it down and look at the little bits and pieces to see what we can bring from it into our future battles and hopefully become better battlers. This is a battle against PvP Steve, who you might have seen his YouTube videos. He is currently the #1 competitive PvP content creator in the world. I have no problem saying that. There's a lot of GBL content creators that get more views, but as far as like the actual competitive stuff goes, PvP, I don't think anyone is currently bigger than PvP Steve. Anyway, this is the first tournament that we play in Season 3 of the arena. We got matched together. We both won round 1 in this tournament, and we got matched up here. This is battle number 1. Let's see how we go. And this is the best possible scenario for me, because if we take a look at that team down there, I don't have anything else other than a Bomber Snow that counters Mantine. That the Galarian Stunfisk loses to it, Vigoroth loses to it, unless it's got like a shield advantage. Same with Skarmory, needs a shield advantage to win that. Swampert has a real hard time beating it. Then I've got my own Mantine, but then that's very IV dependent. So a Bomber Snow is absolutely the Pokemon I want in that matchup there. And that's not the only time in this battle that I get very lucky, and I will show you what I mean when it happens. So Steve only fired 4 bubbles there, so I knew that was a bubble beam. And the more I say bubble in this matchup, the less it'll sound like a real word. So it throws the bubble beam. It's 11 energy per bubble. So firing 4 bubbles gives you 44 energy, and a bubble beam is Bubble Beam's 40 energy, so it's taking 4 bubbles to get to a Bubble Beam with 4 remaining energy, and then 5 bubbles gives you 55 energy exactly, which is precisely enough for an Ice Beam. So when he throws 4, I know that's only going to be a Bubble Beam, and it's got 4 energy remaining. Now I throw my Weather Ball and try and hit all the bubbles. It has been debuffed once, which makes it a little bit harder, but check out just the speed. The frightening speed of Weather Ball. Look at this. I've managed to get out 3 Weather Balls before Steve can get to another charge move, and I don't hit all the bubbles that time, but there will be no more bubbles coming from Mantine. At first, when I watched this video, I was like, why don't you throw a charge move? Why don't you throw a charge move? It's just, it didn't get to one. We can count them up here. So it fires 1 bubble, and then I throw my charge move. There's a second. That's 3. 4, 5, and then I fire the KO shot. So Steve wanted to hit me with an Ice Beam, or at least apply that shield pressure, but those Weather Balls just came so freaking fast that he just could not get an Ice Beam out. It was in the middle of that last bubble that he needed to get to that Ice Beam, and he just couldn't do it. Side note, Weather Ball has higher DPE, damage per energy, than Energy Ball. In a situation where they're both neutral, or they've both got the same level of super effectiveness, Weather Ball is more efficient. So if ice is resisted by the opponent, or if grass is super effective, then that changes things. But yeah, Weather Ball is the one you want to go with, as well as applying more shield pressure as well. Now that was the moment where Steve lost the game. Out comes an Alolan Marowak. I panic switch out of my Abomasnow into a Vigoroth, which is just as bad against Marowak. And Steve, I'm assuming this was just, he was waiting for me to switch, so he was just, insta-switching into the Ferrothorn. He got a Pokemon out of there that would have been fantastic against my Vigoroth, and brought in a Pokemon that would have been really bad against the Vigoroth. So, obviously, Steve would not have been expecting for me to throw in that Vig. So, would have expected the Swampert or the Galarian Stunfisk. Definitely isn't gonna expect me to switch into Skarmory. And the only other thing I've got there is Mantine. Yeah, so really fantastic play by Steve. He was undone by my own stupidity. If I see the Alolan Marowak, chances are I'm gonna switch in a Mantine, a Swampert, or a G-Fist, which Ferrothorn beats all three of those. So, of course Steve was going to just insta-switch into Ferrothorn, but yeah, I brought in that freaking Vigoroth. And funny thing is, like, if I'd tried to switch in Swampert, then I absolutely lose. Like, I had that Swampert there, and he puts that Ferrothorn into a situation where it's not doing much good. So let's just see that again in regular speed. Out comes Marowak. I panic switch into Vigoroth, and he's like, "Oh no!" Now, I shield here. I shouldn't have. Because how much does a Power Whip do to a Vigoroth? Power Whip does 47% damage, so just a smidgen under 50%. I can just apply so much damage to this thing just with counters alone. And even if, like, the original reason I shielded was because, well, I want the Vigoroth to be able to do the job of beating this Ferrothorn, especially since I've got Swampert in the back. But even if I couldn't finish off the Ferrothorn with the Vig, I've got a Abomasnow as well. And that can finish the job too. Steve let that Ferrothorn go because both locked into that situation. Very, very smart decision, because in some situations you can try and save that matchup by spending your shields and trying to flip that matchup over again, win back that shield advantage, get the matchups back the way you want them to. But no matter what he did there, if I wanted the Vigoroth to survive, it would win. The only way that the Vigoroth would lose that situation is if I refused to use any shields, and maybe Steve opted to use, however many shields it took to get off enough Power Whips to finish me off. I think with the Bullet Seeds in between the power whips, that would probably be enough. Oh, interesting. Because how much is Bullet Seed doing? 4 damage. Oh, doing 68. It's actually really surprising that it's only taking 1 power whip and then the bullets. Oh, sorry, hang on. That's because it's fainting first. Let's go with Scratch. Okay, so it is only taking 2 power whips, then the Bullet Seeds in between. So if I'd refused to use any shields, it just would have, it would have been able to flip that matchup that way. And now I'm in this kind of difficult situation because that Vigoroth has so much health left that, say, if Steve wanted to, he could just farm. And, I've only got 1 shield, so... And... it doesn't need to use any charge moves against my Abomasnow as well. So it could keep farming against that if I wanted to bring that back in first. So I really should have let the Vigoroth be hit by a Power Whip for that exact reason, just to drop that health a little more for when the Marowak came back in. And now, out comes Swampert, and this finishes the job. It's better not to use the charge move, because he's got 2 shields left. It costs you 1 turn to throw a charge move. That's a turn that could be spent throwing another Mud Shot, which will actually do damage as opposed to the shielded Hydro Cannon. So don't bother using the shield there, just Mud Shot down at that point. So that is that battle. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the videos, please do me a favor and comment, like, and share. That helps the video get discovered a little more, and once you've done that, come and hang out with me on Twitch. There's a link in the description below the video. I stream currently every Tuesday and Sunday night and Saturday morning. I can never remember that off the top of my head straight away. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.